Tiles, we'll start with that. How's the face?
Yeah, good mate. It's obviously I broke my nose last week, but it's pulled up pretty well. No black eyes and felt good running around this week. So I'm pretty happy with it. It looks pretty straight and it's better than last time. I had 2 huge black eyes, so feeling pretty good.
How do you keep breaking your nose?
I've got a big beak, mate. So people keep running into it. So that's probably the explanation I'd put out there.
So you won't have to wear a guard or anything this week?
Nah, I'm not going to do it, Dylan Grimes. I'll just be normal and run out there and probably more likely to get hit if you're worried about it. So I'm fine.
The backline's kind of been the talk of the Crows the last couple of weeks. You've done really well defending.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we feel like we're playing really well back there as a back 6 or 7 and. Obvious stories, Alex Keith, how good he's been. He just continues to get better and, showed our medal last week. I'm really proud of him. We've got Lairdy and Smithers who are in really good form off the half-back line, and then Kyle Hardigan's really found some form as well and is playing a great defensive role for us. So we feel like we're starting to gel back there and we've been in some good form, but we know we've got to carry that over this week. They've got an interesting forward line, a bit smaller and really dangerous. We know Charlie, what he's done at the club, and then guys like Cam Rayner and Eric Hipwood, who's really dangerous as well. So we're going to have a big test this week and looking forward to it.
Are you doing anything different back there, or is it just a natural continuation of?
Yeah, well, I think it's a natural continuation. The first couple of weeks we were getting smashed out of the midfield and we couldn't really slow the ball down. And the last couple of weeks we've really focused on our contest, and that's allowed us to probably defend more from our front half. So I think just, the simple thing of winning the ball out of the middle and being able to defend that way has really helped us. So I wouldn't put it all on us. It's been the mids and forwards have really helped as well. And up the field, the forwards have put on a lot more pressure than they did the first 4 weeks. So that's certainly showed, and we're able to mark the ball then. Does
Luke Brown get Charlie Cameron?
Yeah, it's a good question. Depends where he lines up. Probably, Brownie's a good lockdown defender, so that could be an option there. Charlie might play up high, in which case we might look at someone else. So there'll be a couple of different options that we run through. But having played with Charlie, we know how good he is, and he's really dangerous around goals. So he's certainly one we're going to have to look at.
Has there been much talk during the week? Are people chatting to Charlie or sending texts or WhatsApps? Or?
Yeah, I think he's still good mates with a lot of the guys, especially the younger guys. So he still keeps in touch with a lot of the group, and I know a lot of the backs still talk to him as well. So it's going to be interesting out there this weekend. We'll certainly be in his ear, and looking forward to it.
How's Matt Crouch? We saw him just jogging laps today.
Yeah, he's still. We're giving him until tomorrow. He didn't do much today, and. Obviously, he got that hip pointer, so he'll be a test tomorrow, and we want to give him till the last minute. He's a quality player, and not rule him out today because he hasn't trained, so he'll come up and he'll be a test tomorrow.
And how good is it that we're getting some reinforcements back at the Crows with people like Seedsman and Douglas, and Bryce Gibbs is now fit again?
Yeah, it's great. I think, a full team and a full list to pick from is huge for us. And as you said, some quality players come back in, Dougie and Seeds this week. And then I think Junior's not far away. He might be next week as well, Wayne Malira, for those who don't know his nickname. But, we're excited that those guys are coming back, and all those guys can really break the lines and use their speed and agility, and that's something that we've probably lacked as well. So for those 3 guys to be back in the mix, it's really good. And as you said, Gibbsy's back this week as well. So some quality guys coming in as well.
You've got a great record against Brisbane and in Brisbane. I don't know if you're aware of that, but you've won 8 out of 9 personally. 6-1 up there in Brisbane. Is there a reason for that? Do you enjoy going up to Brisbane?
Yeah, I think you definitely enjoy going up there. And no, I didn't know about that record, but getting some sunshine mid-year is always nice. And they've been a younger team, so that's probably the reason for the record. So I think this week's going to be a lot harder. They're same as us, 5-3 on the ladder, and it's going to be a really, really big challenge for us. And they've played some really good footy over there this year as well. So that probably the record speaks for itself. But we do enjoy going over there, and hopefully we can continue that form.
It seems a lot of people have misread what the rule changes were going to provide coming into this season. Everyone said 6-6-6 going to be highest scoring man on man. Did you have thought about how it might unfold? Did you think that was going to be the case? Did you look at it saying, well, this is one-on-one, I'll back myself, I like this idea, I don't want those extras around me creating drama? Did you have any sort of ideas going into it, and now the way it's unfolded, has that changed?
Yeah, I definitely thought it was going to be more high scoring than it is, and it's probably funny. Teams have probably worked on their contest for that reason. You can't drop a number behind the ball, so it becomes a lot more 1v1 contests, and I think a lot of teams' defences have really worked on that aspect, and that's probably why the scores are lower. A lot of teams are defending the ball better and even rolling their wingers and guys back in general play, trying to stop that score because they know they can't just sit a seventh back there. So it's probably worked the other way, and now the game's a bit more low scoring, and it seems to be just contests all over the ground. So I thought at the start of the season it would have gone the other way. It would have been more high scoring, and but that's the way it's worked out, and it's good for me because I really like those 1v1 contests and that more old school feel to it. You versus your opponent, and I think that's really good for the fans to see as well.
So what challenges does Eric Hipwood provide then in those 1v1 contests?
Oh, he's a great player. When he gets going, he can kick bags of 5 or 6, and having played him in the past, he's really quick and takes a strong mark as well. And they seem to be using him really well on that hit up. So he's got a lot of weapons that he can get our team with this week. And we've got 3 talls back there, and depending where he lines up, we're going to have to keep an eye out for him as well. So as I said before, they've got a dangerous forward line. It's going to be a huge challenge for us.
And what did you make of Alex Keith winning the showdown medal?
Yeah, I was pumped for him. I think, just the way he's, trained, to watch him work hard over pre-season, and it's good for a guy who's come in at 26 and had to work really hard from another sport and then come in and find his feet. And he battled injuries last year, but we could see what a talent he was. And, his pre-season's really flowed over to just how he's played at the start of the year. He's just got better and better. And, it's not often you see a backman win the showdown medal, and I was super proud of him and just love the way he's going about it. So we just hope he continues the form.
And Dave, just back to the one-on-one. So the idea of standing in the goal square, as you say, a little bit more old school. Does that open the door a little bit for that old school sort of just kick, a little elbow on the rib, or those old school, the flicking of the ear or pulling of the ear, whatever you used to do? Is that?
Oh, I think when you've been back in there, all that stuff happens. You just don't see it on camera anyway. But definitely. I think the one out of the goal square is probably not so much because the ball out of a centre bounce doesn't usually get there. They're so deep that it takes a while. It's usually those guys in the middle of the 50 that are in that first contest. But I just love the fact that it's 1v1 now, and the forwards can probably dictate their structures at centre bounce, and as defenders you can't really drop off and just sit off them. So it does make it more one-on-one, as I said, and that's an aspect that I love personally. Having been a full-back for a long time, it's something that I rate, but I'm sure other defenders aren't enjoying it as much either. So.
Can you tell us, I know it's not your role in terms of kicking out after a behind score and stuff, but some commentators have suggested there's been a lack of imagination from guys kicking out a full-back, even to the extent now where they're not running that extra 10 metres. How have you approached that as a team, and what does the coach tell you, and why is that the case? That everyone was suggesting that it was going to be a huge change, but it doesn't seem that that's evolved. Is there a reason?
Yeah, I think teams have still got 18 numbers behind the ball, a forward press, so it's still pretty hard to run out of there. I know you've got an extra 10 metres space, but opposition players are still coming at you at speed, and it's pretty hard. A lot of sides are almost giving the pocket and just trying to get you in there. So we're pretty lucky. We've got some really creative players back there in Brodie Smith, Wayne Malira, as I said before, Lairdy. So we've got that run and drive and that rebound out of there, and we feel like we're going all right out of kick-outs, but it still is hard to move the ball out of there. Teams, as I said, teams' defences are so good, it's just hindering ball movement. So that's probably the main reason why teams aren't kind of giving that creative flair. It's just so hard to do it.
You've won 4 in a row. So last time you won 5 in a row was 2017 at the start of the season, going into what ended to be the grand final that year. How can you compare? I know it's not that long ago, but it seems like in some ways an eternity away. But the comparison between how you're travelling now and when you were up and about there at the start of that year.
Yeah, it's funny. It feels completely different. Obviously, the results. We're not 5-0. We're 5-3, and we had a pretty poor start to the year. So I think it's been a bit more enjoyable, in that we've really found what works for us this year, and that's just winning the contested ball. And we really focused on that and made it really simple 4 weeks ago, and that's all we've really talked about for 4 weeks. So It's certainly different to 2017 when we were 5-0, and I think we were transitioning the ball a lot and kicking huge scores, and we're certainly not doing that at the moment. We're grinding games out, so we're winning in a completely different way, and it's been enjoyable to turn around a really bad patch of form at the start of the year and go to 5-3 now, and yeah, we just want to keep it going. So let's hope we can do that this week.